Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face while you're sleeping. Have you ever found anything weird in your backyard? Even if you have, it cannot be as amazing as the things we're about to show you. Well, from an ancient burial ground to a car, join us as we reveal 10 of the strangest things ever found in people's backyards. Number 10. A Ferrari. Now, it is not strange for a car to be in a person's backyard. After all, sometimes you need to park your car outside. Or maybe you just have junky or rusty cars laying around that you use for parts, whatever. However, this is a Ferrari, but it wasn't only in someone's yard, it was buried in someone's yard. It's not often that you find a luxury car buried in your yard, so how exactly was it found? Well, two kids were just digging around in their yard in their house in Los Angeles when they hit something that didn't sound right. So, the curious kids kept on digging until they found a part of a car. That was when they told their parents, who then told the local sheriff, and then began the excavation of a Ferrari Dino 246 GTS. The car was from 1974 and was reported stolen, so that explains half of the mystery. But how about how it got underground, as it was found 6 to 8 feet below the surface? How it went inside remains a mystery, as there's nobody who knows anything about the car, and not even the tenants or the neighbors or the cops of anyone. Ironically, the Ferrari was in really good condition, with only minimal damage and such. When the story hit the papers, the news spread about the car, and now a lot of people called in and tried to buy it.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works.
Number 9. Bells. Now from Los Angeles to the Czech Republic, where a man made discovery of fascinating proportions, and let's just say it had a certain ring to it. You see, he was digging in the backyard to renovate the plumbing system when all of a sudden, he hit something really hard. It was so hard, in fact, that he had to make sure it was some kind of metal, but he didn't know what kind of metal it was. That's why he kept on digging, and that is when he found an ancient bell. In fact, 2 of them. Unlike the Ferrari though, we know what happened here, for the most part at least. The bells were part of a local church, and one night, a thief came in and stole them, and then buried them in a plot of land where he felt they'd be safe. Now, it is uncertain what the goal of the heist was, and whether or not the thief was stashing them for later, or perhaps just trying to hide them for no reason. But either way, they were there for a really long time before the man dug them up. Number 8. Bomb shelter. While not as valuable as a car or even an ancient bell, if you found something like a bomb shelter in your backyard, you'd probably be interested to see what's inside. Now, this wasn't an obvious shelter though. It was hidden among the trees of the land, but it was there and was able to be entered, and so they did. It just kind of makes you wonder though, why was there a bomb shelter in this particular house? It's not hard to come up with a reason or two why it could be there. For example, the house itself could have been built during the war, maybe even during the Cold War, where the threat of nuclear destruction seemed like a real thing. Or perhaps it was there for some other reason. It's hard to tell why people do certain things. Regardless of the reason for it being there, we can surely say that the homeowners would have been stunned when they found it, but we can bet that they feel a little safer knowing that they could easily hide in their secret shelter if something unfortunate were to happen. Number 7. Burial ground. There are things I wish I could find out about our land, and then there's also a few things I wish I never find out. One of the never finds is undoubtedly a dead body or bones. Imagine the horror a kid in Utah must have felt when he decided to dig up his backyard to build a pond, but ended up digging up a bone instead. In the beginning, they thought it was an animal's bone, but another find 2 weeks later revealed the truth, because he dug up a human skull. The bones were then sent to researchers in a university who were shocked to find out that the bones of the man that had been discovered were almost a millennium old. They're now trying to figure out who the bones belonged to and why he was there. It is unclear whether there were more bodies found, and if there were, we can just hope that it wasn't the boy who discovered them. How do you think you'd react if you found some human bones in your backyard? Tell us in the comment section. Number 6. A machine gun. In Calgary, Canada in 2014, a man was walking around in his backyard and came across something between his garage and a fence. He was curious, so he dug it up and found a pillowcase, which was full of various items, including a loaded machine gun and a cell phone, which proved that it was buried not many years ago. But how did these items get here? Who put them there? And why were they kept there? These questions have still not been answered, but we can bet you that he's glad that he doesn't have them on his property anymore. Number 5. An ancient 7-Up can. If you watch shows like American Pickers, you'll know that certain classic items are always valuable. One thing you may not expect to be valuable are old soda cans and bottles, but let us tell you that they need to have the right look and be in good condition. Imagine a man's fortune when he found an old 7-Up can in his backyard. If we compare this can's look and a modern can's look, the difference isn't just clear, it's self-evident. Despite the rust, the can is still in good condition, and after a little cleaning up process later, we're sure the discoverer has a somewhat valuable collection on his hands. Number 4. Villa of the Emperor. Now, what's cooler than finding an ancient creature? How about finding the home of an ancient emperor? More specifically, the home of the Emperor of Rome. Sounds great, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to a man in England. While digging in his backyard to fix and replace the power lines, he came across a villa, a freaking villa! Now, for those who don't know, a villa is a large country house, one that dates back to ancient Roman times. Sure enough, as he continued to dig, he found more and more of the villa and realized that the architecture wasn't just of ancient Rome, but also of great prominence, as the emperor lived there at some point in history. Naturally shocked, he then informed the town council, who then informed a group of archaeologists, who then dug up the entire villa, which was surprisingly in great condition. Still though, you have to wonder what happened to the villa that it went underground, because that part's still a mystery. Number 3. Mastodon. One of the funny things about archaeology is that the bones of special animals from the past can really be located just about anywhere, and this includes a backyard in Michigan. Check this out. A contractor was hired to do some work for his neighbor, and during the job, he went and got an excavator and began to dig. When he started digging up the backyard, he stumbled upon something hard, and when he got it out, he was startled to have a large bone in front of him. When he cleaned up the bone, he realized that the bone was not just huge, it was really old too, and probably belonged to some ancient species that's been extinct from the modern world. In fact, the bone that he found was from a ribcage of a creature, and then over the course of the next few days, 40 more bones were found. These bones were sent to a nearby professor, who then figured out that they were the remains of an ancient mastodon, one that apparently lived in the Ice Age. We can bet that this was one of the guy's best jobs ever, and he must be pretty proud of his discovery. And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by one of our subscribers, so if you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it on over to us. Who knows, we might even feature it on a future video. Number 2. This is actually a photoshopped image of a huge missile-like material discovered by a construction worker. But we kind of get the idea behind it. People have found some weird and sometimes valuable things using metal detectors in their backyards. The discoveries range from old Roman coins to weapons from thousands of years ago. Number 1. Pathway to the Pyramids. Now, you might be wondering what could be better than finding an ancient villa under your backyard. Well, how about finding a secret pathway into one of the ancient pyramids? A man in Egypt was digging around in his backyard and came across a mysterious entrance. He continued to dig and found himself 33 feet below the ground. When he hit the bottom, he found himself in an ancient tunnel, one that was perfectly preserved and made of stone. Knowing his location and where the tunnel led, he surmised that it went to the ancient pyramids. Fearing breaking the law by entering the tunnel any further, he then called a group of archaeologists to figure out what was going on. And they found that the tunnel was a straight path to the oldest pyramid in Egypt. Furthermore, the tunnel itself was known about by the archaeologists, but was believed to have been a myth. Which of these backyard discoveries did you find the most interesting? And have you ever found anything unusual in your yard? Tell us about it in the comment section below, and be sure to like and subscribe.